Okay, so this first clinical application reading assignment that I posted today, the first page, is all about skin cancer. And I took it straight from the Holes textbook, the one that you would have if we were in school. So there's going to be some things in here that you might not have learned about yet, but it should be a good way to be interested in at least to learn the different kinds of skin cancer because like when I started reading about this, I thought, I know about skin cancer, but then I don't know about specific kinds. So, and specific words used to describe them. So, I'll just read the bold print here to kind of give you an idea of what the point is of reading this. So it says, like cigarette smoking, a deep, dark tan was once very desirable. A generation ago, a teenager might have spent hours on a beach, skin glistening with oil, maybe even using a reflecting device to concentrate sun exposure on the face. You probably have seen those before, right? Where it's maybe in a movie or a show where they hold the reflection device to give themselves a nice tan. It was seen as a sign of good health. Of course, let's see. Today, as they lather on sunblock, many of these people realize that the tans of yesterday may cause cancer tomorrow. However, today, many people increase their risk of developing skin cancer by spending time in tanning booths. I don't think that's quite as popular as it used to be even like 10 years ago. I used to scream at my classes when we did biology and we did the cell cycle and talk about do not ever go to tanning booths. Never ever 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 go to tanning booths. So then they would look, young girls would look at me and be like, well, uh, maybe their mom does it. Maybe they have been told, ooh, you look so nice with the tan or something like that. But man, it's so bad for you. So then the first paragraph here, I'll just show you what the notes might look like in a second here. It says cancer begins when ultraviolet radiation causes mutation in the DNA of a skin cell. People who inherit the very rare condition xeroderma pigmentosum are very prone to developing skin cancer because they lack DNA repair enzymes. They must be completely covered by clothing and sunblock when in the sun to avoid developing skin cancers. So I'm going to move this down a little bit. There's a picture here of this boy who has this condition called xeroderma pigmentosum. And it says sun exposure causes extreme freckling and skin cancer is likely to develop because he lacks DNA repair enzymes. The large lesion on his skin is a skin cancer. So this is a young boy who got one of those, and we're all sitting here right now without cancer because we have DNA repair enzymes. And so people that don't have that enzyme, anytime their DNA gets mutated, bam, the cell cycle can start going out of control, causing tumors. First, if it starts in the skin, of course, that can spread. So when I started taking notes on this, I'm going to move this to my notes now. And I will post these on Schoology when I get done with my last Google Meet today. But this is kind of what I'm thinking as far as how to do some notes about this. I happen to have a nice, set of colored pens that I enjoy writing with. And so I picked out a couple things here. Cancer begins when UV radiation causes a mutation in DNA. I can make a summative question about that and put it onto a Schoology quiz, and that will be one of the questions, guaranteed. What is cancer? It's caused by a mutation in DNA. Okay. Then there's this long word that's the actual disease here called xeroderma pigmentosa. And what that is it's someone that doesn't have DNA repair enzymes. Then the reading continues and it basically goes over the different kinds of skin cancer. And it only has 3 pictures shown, but because you've learned about the layers of the skin, this will make a little bit more sense to you, and hopefully some of the words will find a spot in your head so you'll get to know which one's really bad, and what the treatments are for the different ones. So this is only how far I got on my notes, and I almost got done. So I'm still working on it, but it shouldn't be, I would say, more than a page, depending on how big you write. But the assignment is to take a picture of that and submit it. The one that I looked at, or from what I can see so far, and what you should be able to see, is that there's basically 2 different types of skin cancers, or 2 different types of skin cells that normally get cancer. And that is I'll just point to them on my notes here. It comes from the non-pigmented epithelial cells, which are located deep in the epidermis. So it's still on the first layer, the outside layer, but it's deep inside there. And then there's also one that can come from the melanocytes, which are the pigmented cells. And the ones that come from the epithelial cells are called cutaneous carcinomas. And here's some information that I found about those. They have some good news. Some good news about those is that they're slow growing and can be surgically removed. So that's one of those ones where, like, Miss Khan had this, for example, right on her nose. And she went into the doctor. They said, yep, that's not good. We got to take that out. And they had to go and cut all the way into her, I guess, the bottom of her epidermis of the skin, right? So going into the dermis and remove it. And normally that cures that part, or would cures be the right word? Yeah, I think so. That would be a cure. They may give follow-up radiation if if they have any question that they may not have gotten every single basal cell there that got cancer. The pictures are actually what I like, and it makes some sense to look at them too. So this one here is the squamous cell carcinoma, and then this is the basal cell carcinoma. So you can see a little bit of differences with it. And then finally, the bad one, and if you know French, right? Malignant melanoma. So mal, bad, looks a lot darker. And because it's cancer of the melanocytes, it is, I think that's what causes it to have that really dark black look, because the melanocytes, of course, are the ones that make melanin, which would cause an overproduction, it looks like, of melanin here. So the assignment for that, like I said, is to take some notes, and then later on today or tomorrow, you're going to see a summative assessment where you can show that you've learned that stuff. And I will finish up these notes and put them on there. Now, the other one that I put, I'm just going to show you the second PDF that you'll see when you open it, is a bit more, maybe apropos to what a lot of teenagers, young people are more familiar with. And it's another clinical application, but this one's specific to acne. So you might have learned about acne in health class or something like that, but this is going to talk about acne in a more cellular way. And probably a bit more scientific than you learned in health class. So the um, the quiz will be combination of both of those things. And then you'll need another sheet of paper to take a few notes about this one. But as far as like assignments this week, you already watched that video dissection yesterday, and then you'll take notes on this today, and then you'll have a summative quiz coming up later this week to complete. And then we're going to be done with skin, I think. We're going to move on to bones next. All right, I'm going to stop recording.